Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is a classic work of science fiction, often regarded in many ways as the first science fiction novel. And the purpose of that novel was to serve as a warning about the excesses of science and the scientific method. Today I have for you something that I didn't even know existed. When I found out about it, the first thing that came to mind was Frankenstein. You've heard the concept or the word Frankenfood. These are foods that are completely unnatural, the product of laboratories and the product of unholy experimentation. In another line that comes to mind is, he's now more machine now than man, twisted and evil, description of Darth Vader, another warning about the excesses of science. Here we have for you today, I don't know if you knew this existed, vegan eggs. And I don't just mean like just egg substitutes as a binder, which are bad enough. But we're talking vegan eggs in the shell. Yes, in the shell. There's another old saying that comes to mind. The scientists never thought about whether they should. They just wondered whether they could. Variations of that saying out there. But you get the idea. We are told that we should all eat plant-based diets. That is better for the environment, all that stuff. We know that animal agriculture makes a very small portion of the overall environmental problem out there. Very small. And in fact, when you engage in regenerative agriculture, it becomes negative carbon. Regenerative agriculture is growing, and for good reason. And I'll do a video or more on regenerative agriculture. My PhD is in sustainable development policy, so regenerative agriculture is right in my wheelhouse. But we also know that plant-based agriculture creates a lot of methane, has a huge cost in animal life, and most of those plants that we are growing are stripping the soil of their nutrients, and the practices are causing the soil to be stripped of its nutrients, meaning the plants we're getting are worth less and less nutritionally with each passing generation. But for whatever reason, we are being told to eat plant-based, as well as to eat insects, which I'll pass on the insects, thank you very much. Now, I've talked about that before, and I'm sure I'll talk about that again, but the vegan eggs we're seeing, let's just compare one brand of vegan eggs to the actual humble, run-of-the-mill grocery store chicken egg. Not pasture-raised, not organic, not fed a diet to boost its omega-3 fatty acid profile. No, run-of-the-mill grocery store eggs versus the vegan egg. And the vegan egg we're going to talk about here is the Follow Your Heart brand egg. This information is right from their website. I'm not going to bother showing you the ingredients of an egg because an egg has ingredients which are the egg white, the egg yolk, a little bit of extra collagen, and a couple other things, all encased in the shell. That's the ingredients for an egg. We can quibble about what the chicken ate, but again, that's the ingredients of an egg. The ingredients of this particular brand of eggs are as follows. And remember, as I read them, these are going to be they are in order of the most largely present ingredient in the egg. In the order they appear on the label is what's in there, is the amount that's in there in terms of proportions. So your first is organic soy milk powder from organic soybeans, modified cellulose, gellan gum or gellan gum, more cellulose, calcium lactate, carrageenan, black salt, which is black salt and herbs. I'm not sure what that means. Nutritional yeast, which is probably the best thing in that entire thing. Natural flavors, which can be anything. And beta-carotene for color. And now let's do the nutrition facts on the vegan eggs. A serving size of the vegan egg are 2 tablespoons. And they sell this brand in it's supposed to look like an egg carton case, but it's going to be something you can just get your 2 tablespoons out of. Despite that picture I showed you earlier, those eggs in the shell. These are serves 12 servings, there's 24 tablespoons here. So you're not getting much, and it doesn't tell me how much these are. The next time I'm at Whole Foods, I'll try to find it and see if they have them, and if they do, I'll put a picture on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, there's a link in the description box. Anyway, there are 35 calories per serving, 1 gram of fat. So here we are, we're going low fat vegan. That's sounds like a terrible idea. No trans fats, no cholesterol, which is terrible also. A small amount of sodium, 5 grams of carbs with 1 gram of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, no added sugars. But let's get to the real stuff. Protein, 3 grams for 2 tablespoons. Vitamin D, 6% of your daily. Calcium, 8% of your daily. Iron, 6%. Put an asterisk next to that iron. It's probably not very bioavailable given that it's from a vegan source. And potassium, 4% of your daily value. I'm not sure why you would eat this, except maybe as a binding ingredient if you're trying to make vegan bread or something. And now this image comes from Nutrition with Judy. She does amazing work on her podcast and amazing work on her website. Lots of images like this. Compare what I just told you to the humble egg. 17.8% of your vitamin A for the day. Your B1, 3.3%. Your B2, 35%. Your niacin, 16%. We'll just skip down here. Vitamin D. Remember, the other one had very little. One egg, 10% of your daily value. That doesn't sound like much, but remember, how many of your carnivore influencers are eating a lot of eggs every day? Fair amount of them. I think Dr. Baker eats like 24 eggs a day on some days. He's getting, all of his vitamin D from his eggs. You're getting vitamin K, omega-3, omega-6, choline, more than half, one egg of your daily requirement of choline. You're getting zinc, selenium, potassium, phosphorus, your manganese, magnesium, iron, copper, and all of those things are going to be from an animal source, so they're much more bioavailable. So why are they doing this? Why are they pushing this product? Well, vegans need binding ingredients for making their baked goods and things, and so you can make the market-based argument. They are just filling a need that the market's filling a need that is created by the existence of a growing number of vegans. Okay, I can accept that argument. When you look at the larger narrative going on, plant-based this, plant-based that, chicken suddenly being, culled in large numbers at chicken farms, this looks weird. But when you really look here at the nutritional values of this stuff, it's garbage. What you're eating here is garbage, relatively speaking. No offense to the Follow Your Heart brand, I'm sure they mean well. This is especially peculiar, these kinds of products, because at the end of the day, what's the point of making substitutes for animal products that look like animal products? They're packaged like animal products that remind people of animal products. I get it at the early stages of veganism. You're going to try to transition your nutrition away from animal products, but you still miss the taste and texture of meat. You miss the meat experience, so you have a veggie patty that looks and allegedly tastes like meat. Although the one time I had a Beyond Burger a few years ago when they first came out, it didn't taste anything like meat. It was gross. But I get it on that level. But after the first few months, why would you still do it? What's the purpose? So what is the whole point of it? What's the point of this plant-based push from really influential people out there? More influential than any vegan influencer. Well, first and foremost, remember the old axiom, follow the money. This stuff is going to be super cheap to produce in large quantities. Probably cheaper than chicken eggs, to be honest with you. But there's also the effect of what happens when you feed people this kind of stuff. Become more compliant. I'll leave it at that. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help these smaller channels like mine grow. And thanks for watching today.